Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. Good evening. Okay. I'm going to call some names. Good evening, Adenike. Good evening, Jessica. Good evening, Regina. Good evening, Dupe. Good evening, Peisayo, Olanike, and Jorim. Good evening, Timothy, Adeyosola. Good evening, Victoria. Good evening, Yanu. Right. Someone said, "Good evening, Daddy Oyoyo." That's fine. Yeah, good evening, Olawole, Hada, right? Yeah. So good evening, everyone. How are we doing? Hope we are good. I believe we are glad to be here tonight, right? Right. So today being the, can I say, being the last but not the least, or how do we say it, right? For the SQL class, right? I believe that we are all, yeah, glad to be here this evening, right? So I welcome every one of you guys to today's meeting, right? I want to welcome everyone to this meeting, right? So without wasting our time, right? So because we have a lot to cover tonight again, so we want to try our best, right? And if you can cover it, then also take the opportunity to go to Postgres and run some queries for those of you that are using Postgres, right? Unfortunately, maybe we will not be able to touch MySQL, right? But for the, I believe everyone can hear me. Let me even ask, can everyone hear me? Am I audible? Can anyone hear me? Okay, awesome. Okay, so like I said, so I think so I'm just like try to if time permit us, right, or we'll try to spend like 10 to 15 minutes to run some queries on Postgres for those of you guys that are using Postgres. So, and like I said, right, unfortunately, we might not be able to touch um, MySQL, right? Might not be able to do that. But for those of you that is going to use that are using MySQL, right, by the time we are going to switch to Postgres, just pay attention, then pay attention so that we can be able to see how it is being done on Postgres, right? So without wasting our time, right? So let's start. Can you guys see my screen? Is my screen visible? Because I want to know if my screen is visible. If you can see my screen. Okay. 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 Uh, so just a minute, right? So okay, just a minute. Okay, so just a minute, guys, right? So that we can just go straight. Okay. So I think we are good now, right? You guys can see my screen now. Let me know if you guys can see my screen now so that I can just fire on. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Right. Okay. Awesome. Right. So without wasting our time, so let's start today. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the last code, right? So I'm gonna bring the last code, and that will tell us where we are, where we stop in our last class. So I'm going to go to my file, right? Go to open, then click on file, right? It will take me to my um documents. Then from documents, I go to SQL Server Management Studio, where I'm going to populate the the last query, right? So like I say, I always save my own with the same name format, right? So that's liter underscore db query, right? Then I'll click open, it will load, right? Okay, so I'll just scroll down. So that's where we stop in our last class. Let's continue scroll down, right? This is where we stop, right? 200. Okay, so this is where we stop. Where just where we created um the age, where we calculated age for employee, right? So let's check our employee, right? Select all from employee, right? Okay, so this is our last table, right? So we've been able to create age for employee, right? I think so. This is where we stop, and then I believe this is we are able to get this right. You know, I wrote two query, right? I say one might be somehow complex for us, right? Then I wrote another SQL query where I said that's one for the line 62 to 61, where I said alter table employee, then add age as a date difference. Then when you're using a date difference syntax, right, it comes with three parameters, three expression. You can call it three expression, right? Year, date of birth, and higher date. Then in our last class, I remember, right, that someone said, why can't we use current date? So I said we can't use current date because the age I want to get will be the age, their age when the company employed them, right? The age, their age when the company employed them. So that's the reason why I'm just going to use the date difference. So, and what the date difference is going to do is that it's going to subtract their date of birth from higher date, then give me the date they were employed, right? So I think we are clear on that, right? I think, and I've also share with you guys the SQL query. So you should have practiced from your hand, all right? So we are good on that. Okay. Now, so the reason why I I created age is just for us to understand how case when work in SQL, how case when work in SQL, right? So today's is 26, right? So this is where we are starting today, right? Okay. Now, so we've created age, right? We've created age. So, and if you look at this age, right, the maximum there should be 60, right? Is 61, and the minimum there is 26, right? So let's say any staff, right? Any staff that is above 61, 61 and above, or 61 and above, let's call them senior staff or executive, right? Let's refer to them as executive, right? Then we also have after 61, let's say 61 and above, then we can now say from 40, right? From 40 to between 40 and let's say between 40 and between 40 and 59, right? 59. Let's call them senior managers. Where anybody from 40 should be senior manager, right? Senior manager. So if you are in that company, you are between this 40 and 59, and you are not a senior manager, then something is wrong, right? Then maybe from, let's say 25, between 25 and 39, right? 39, we can just, let's say they are 25, or let's say from 30, between 30 and 39, they are manager, right? Let's say they are manager. Then anything less than 30, what do we call them? Okay, someone said, what about 60? Okay, sorry, 60. So I mean 60. Yeah, thank you. That's Adebayo. Yeah, thank you. Should be 60 and above, right? Not 61, 60 and above. Thank you. So let's say less than 30. Wow, we can call them officer. No, the officer is too we can call them, what name do we refer to them in the industry now? Okay, you can't call them executive. All this one, they are senior executive. That's the stakeholders. Okay, someone say junior staff. Okay, let's say junior staff. We can't know junior staff. Let's say just junior staff, right? Let's say junior staff, right? Aha. Right. Right. So now, so we want to categorize all this using case when. So we want to categorize all this using, okay, we can call them assistant manager, right? Yeah, don't let you, okay. So assistant manager should be fine. Assistant manager is more like professional. Yeah, assistant manager. We believe that anything less than 30 should be maybe 25 and 30, because how many companies employ you if you are 18 or 19, right? So let's say, right, because based on the data we have here, the list is 26, right? So we don't have 10, we don't have 20, we don't have 19, we don't have 21. So the list is the 30, and there's no way the company. So based on the companies, that you have to be 25, right? Maybe 24, 25, right? But you are just saying, just the moment you maybe after your confirmation you become assistant manager. Let's just assume like that, right? So the company can give, so in a real life, the company can give us what they want. So imagine that you are working on a project and something like this happen, right? The companies can give us the what they want, right? Now, so after that, you now come here. So I now say select staff ID, right? Or yeah, let's say staff ID, comma, first name, right? Gender, right? Gender, first name, gender, right? Then okay, state of origin, right? Now, so then we just say case when, right? So now we want to put everything now into, so we now say when age, when the column we are using is age, to do the case when, right? When age, right, we are doing above 60, right? When age is greater than or equals to 60, greater than or equals to 60, okay, then we say senior, what do you call them? Senior executive, right? Senior executive, right? We call them senior executives. Right? Then we say when age. Now, who can tell me we want to categorize 50 to between 40 and 59. So how do I write it for me to be able to capture 40 and 59? Right? For me to capture that. Who can borrow me idea? I've lost idea. So who can borrow me? When age, no, we've done no, not less than. Okay, somebody said less than. No, okay, not less than. Okay, wait, we can try again. When age is less than 40 and greater than 40 and less than, okay, we can try again. When age is greater than, okay, I'm still looking for, okay, yeah, I've seen it. When I want, so it should be when age between 49 and 50. That's the best to use. Just do it like that. It has already captured. When age, right, between 40 and 59, right? Those of you that suggested when it is greater than 40 and less than 59, I'm not saying it's wrong. You can try it from your hand, right? You can try from your hand. Please, there is no crime for that. You can try when age is between 40 and 59, and if it give you the correct, then try when age is greater than 40 but less than 59, right? Just try it. Let's see if it's going to give you, right? Then we say, what do you call them? Senior manager, right? Senior manager, right? Then the next one, when age is between 30, when age between 30 and 39, right? Then we refer to them as a manager, right? Then when it is less than, right? Less than, when age is now less than or equals to 30. No, less than 29, supposed to be less, yes. Less than or equals to 29, right? Then we'll refer to them as assistant manager, right? Right? Now, once you capture all your categorization, then the next one should just be as unknown. So if there's anyone that is not among this, you should categorize it unknown. And with what we have done, at least we've been able to capture the category, right? Someone is saying, but the between will not pick 40 and 50. What we said is between 49. So it's going to start from 40 and 59, right? Then we end as what? So we're going to call because it's going to create another group for us. is going to create another group, right? You're going to create another group. It's going to create another group. Then we call that group, right, age group. We're going to call it age group, right? We're going to call it age group. That's end as this. Now you now put from which table? From employee table. Right? Okay. Okay. I think we are good now. As this one is showing incorrect syntax and okay. Let's try. Let's run it. Okay, incorrect syntax. Sorry, this thing don't start. Okay. Select stop ID 632. No, it's happening again now. Correct syntax. Still that the same case when okay. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, just let me just try to troubleshoot right. What's the problem? Okay. Then let's try it again. Okay. Yeah, it's fine now. Okay. Right. Okay. So that's a command that's supposed to be a command at the back of this, right? I wonder. Okay. So you can see that it has formed another group, right? So we now have, you can see that at least our categorization work, right? 26 assistant manager. So these are the people that is between, all these will have the same age. So you can see manager, 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 61 senior executive, right? 42 senior manager, then manager, right? Manager, right? Oh, okay, sorry. Thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah, I've been able to sort it out, right? I've been able to sort it out, right? Someone said some age limits are omitted. Okay, age limit. Which age limit? Because based on for senior manager, right? For senior manager, we said 40 to 59. So any age between 40 and 59 should be senior manager. Then we said 30 and 39 should be manager. So I don't think any age is here. Based on the data we have here, no age is omitted. Then we say anyone that's less than 30, right? Is there anyone that's 30 here? No. Okay, you can see 30. So anyone that is less than 10, that's 29 below, should be assistant manager, right? So this, when it is greater than or equals to 40, but less than or equal to, you can, these are the things that you can practice from your hand, right? Just practice it on your hand, right? And let's see if it's going to give you the same how should I put it, the same results, right? Let's say from it's going to give you the same results. There are many ways you can do it. That's it's not, once you just add or understand what you want to do. So there are many ways to do that, right? So let's proceed. Let's proceed now. Now we've been able to do this now. Now there's something. Oh, right? Okay. Sorry, a minute, guys. Right? Okay. Sorry about that interruption, right? Okay. So we've been able to do this, right? Then let's go back now. So let's go back to that our employee, right? So another way we can do this, another way we can do this, right, is, like I said, one of you guys have done it, right? I want to delete this state of origin. I want to delete this state of origin. Then we now use this case when to update the state of origin. I will delete the state of origin. Then I will now use the case when to update state of origin, right? So let's exploit that, right? So I'm going to say delete, or I want to delete the column. So alter table, right? Alter table, then delete column, right? What's the column? State of origin, right? So I want to delete this. Oh, sorry. Are we going to use drop, not delete? Drop, right? Alter table employee, right? Right? Command successful. Now let's check the employee table now. Right? You will see that um you will see that employee, the state of origin column is gone, right? How can we delete a column in a table? That's it. There's a query for it. This is it now. That's query 641 to 642. That's how you can delete a column, right? Alter table employee, then drop the column. You just drop column, then you now mention the column's name. Right now, I want to recreate it back again. Then we now use case when to update it. Now, alter table again, right? Drop state of origin, right? Now, create column state of origin. I just call this time I just called state. Yeah, I'm gonna just say I'm just going to call it. Oh, okay, it's better because we have to know that state of origin, not a residence state, right? So I just call it state of origin, right? So alter table, call employee table, right? Then hard, right? When we wanted to delete, we use drop. Now when we want to recreate it now, we're going to use add, right? Add column. Then what is the column will be state, state of origin. Now who can tell me what will be the next thing to write? What's the next thing? Right. Data type. Thank you. Data type. Right. So the data type is let's use varchar, right? Then 255, right? Two five five, right? Then execute. I know it's giving me one stupid error now. Add column. Why my query this night they fail me? Okay, sorry, let's check. Why is it as a place where we had, right? Okay. Oh, okay, sorry. We don't need to put that column, right? Let's just remove that column. Okay, so that's fine. So let's run it. Right. State of origin has been created again. If you check now, say select all from employee, right? So you can see that it has been created, right? It has been created, but it's now none. Now, so I'm gonna use case when to now update it. Remember when we did it first time, we have to be updating like 18 times, right? Updating 18 times. Now, but this time around, instead of updating it 18 times, you're going to use case when to update it once and for all. Like I said, one of you guys have done this thing I wanted to do. She has done it like last week, right? She has done it. So I think if she's in the class now, it's not going to be something. You will just be like that. I've done this, right? So now, how do we do that? We want to say update, right? Employee, right? That's update employee, right? Set state of origin, right? State of origin. Then now do case, right? When now, so when I say when staff ID, right? When staff ID is equals to this, then it should be what? This, right? When staff ID, right? When staff ID is equals to AB 200, right? You should do what? Then the person is from Delta State, right? Now, because we are going to write about 18, so I'll just copy all this, right? I'll just copy all this. Then right. I think we are on the same page, right? Right. Then so I'll just come here. I'll change this to 212. Then this person is from Lagos. Then that's 223. This person is from Oyo, right? That's 234. This person is from Abuja. Though Abuja is not a state, so let's just cancel it. It's from Bauchi, right? Then that will be 240, right? 240, yeah. So this person is from Port Harcourt, right? Then this person, this is 249, 249. This person is from Lagos, right? 254, 254. Someone said, I'm unable to drop the column. Check the query now. Check the query. The query is very simple now. Just say author table employee. Author table employee. Drop column, then column name. So if you check the table, make sure the column name is typed correctly with your table name. If it is not, you will not be able to drop it. So 254 is from Edo, right? Then 260. Then 268. Let's say from data again. Then 270. From Lagos, right? So we're going to write everything once and for all. Then this person, 281, sorry, 278. From Kano, 281, right? 281, also from Kano. This thing plenty. 282. I think we stop at 282, I'll be 286. 286, right? Right. 298. 298. 299. 2401. Sorry, I said 241. 24401. Right. I think we are done, right? 2405. Right. So I think we've been able to cover everything. Let's run it. If there's anyone we are not able to cover, we can now update it. So once that is done, so you come here, say or else. So if there's anyone that we didn't cover, so it will return it as or no. As or no, then end. Right? Okay. So let's try to run it. Let's try. Hope it doesn't return error. All this case when why is always right. 655. What happened again? State of origin, right? Let's just give you us another error. This state don't give us this error now. Okay, this shouldn't be here, right? State 8 origin. Should be here. Okay, let's see now. This thing is not serious. Okay, we are good. So there's supposed to be an equal sign here, right? Equal sign here, right? So we are good now. Now let's run it. Yeah, we are good. So all the state has been updated. So you can see, right? All the state has been updated using case when, right? So we are good today, right? As in, we are good now. Any question as regard that, we are good, right? So this is how you can use case when, right? How you can use case when to update your table in case you just create your table, right? So this is how you can use case when, right? Okay. So I sent a data set to you guys. I want to know how many of you guys have received a data set from admin. How many of you guys have received the data set? How many guys have received a data? Someone still getting error here, right? You can put the error message on the group. Okay, received. So I want to know, sir. Okay, received. I've not yet received. Okay, we have not received. Some of you guys have received it. Though we actually send it late, right? But it should be on your Telegram page, right? If you can quickly go there and download it, the data set is an international building. It's in a CSV format because that's what we want to do now. We want to use that. We need that data now. We need that data now. We need the data, right? Okay. So if you have not received the data, right, you need to go to when you go to your Telegram page, receive international building. Yeah, correct. Adenike, yeah, correct. Right. Okay. In our last class, I show you guys how to export, right, your data set like this, how you can export it to Excel, right? So today I'm going to show you how you can now import, it's export and importer, right? So how you can import your data, right, to database, right? Because I remember when we started this class, me, I know they forget things, right? Some of you guys are saying, why are we creating table when you have the table in Excel? Why can't you just export the table, right? Some people that are saying, why are we creating table? So where in a real life, you can just create the table. In a real life, you still write a query to create a table, right? You still write query to create a table. But now we now have a data set about, I think if you guys have checked, it's about over 1,000 rows of a data. Now we want to bring that data into database. So the database is, the name of the data is international building, right? So we are bringing it, and I'm going to show you how to import data. Then after importing the data, other data has been imported, right? We can run some analysis on it, right? Then maybe we'll now dedicate our last 10 minutes or last 15 minutes to go to Postgres and run some analysis on Postgres, right? So let's quickly do that, right? Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to look for the data from my local system, from local machine. This is the data. Right. So this is the data we want to import, right? Right. This is the data we want to import. So we have this data. We have data has sales ID, sales rep, email brands, plant cost, unit price, quantity cost, profit, countries. So one thing, what differentiates SQL Server from Postgres is that, take for instance, this data set we want to import into SQL Server. So you want to do that in Postgres, you have to manually create the table first. You have to manually create the table first. For those of you that is using Postgres, please pay attention. In Postgres, you have to manually create this table. Create the table before you import. So in that case, what you're going to do is that you have to make sure the column name, the field name here is sales underscore ID. So when you are creating your own on Postgres, it has to be sales underscore ID, right? It has to be sales underscore ID. Then sales rep has to be sales underscore sales rep underscore rep, right? Email brands plant underscore cost, right? So that for those of you that is using Postgres, right? But if time permits, we do import, right? So now this is my table. Sorry, this is the table I want to import into okay, someone said recap. So for those of you that is using Postgres, if you want to import a CSV file into Postgres, you have to manually create the table first in Postgres. Manually create the table before you can import, right? But in SQL Server, you don't need to create the table. The table will be automatically created by itself. So that's just the difference. So the table will be created by itself. You don't need to create the table first. But in Postgres, you have to create the table first. I think that is clear, right? Right. Okay, that's clear. Now, so this is the table, right? So I'm gonna save it. I've already saved it in my download, right? So I'll just save it again, right? So once I save it, I'm gonna close it. Then I'll go back to my studio, right? To my SQL Server Studio. All right. Okay. Now, so I want to load it into our database, liter_db. That's where I want to load it. So someone is asking, is there no way we can do the different states at the same time without having to repeat these different updates? I don't get your question, right? I think I've shown you two ways to do it. The first one was the one we did in our, I think, first week of our class, right? Then the second one is this. So if you still asking any other way apart from these two methods, for now, I don't know. I'll just say for now, I don't know, right? Because even this one, I will even advise you to use this one, right? This use case well to do that, right? Just that you have to write many lines, right? Just use this one. And if you prefer the first one, alter the table, set this where this is equals to this, right? If that's what you like, right? But I've given you two ways to do that, right? Okay. Now, so we have a database called _db. Please, can you guys pay attention, right? So you want to import a CSV file, right? And then import a CSV file into database. Sorry, I'm repeating, right? So what you're going to do, go to the database where you want to import the table to, right? I want to import this table into our database we've created. That's liter_db, right? That's where we want to import the table to, right? So you click on database, then right click on it. Click on it and right click on it. Then you will see different option, right? Then navigate to task, the option called task. When you navigate to the option called task, right? Then it will also open this. It also what? Open this. Just look for import flat file. So we have import flat file, import data. So if the data you want to import is in CSV format, then you use flat file. If it is in CSV format. Someone is asking me, what is a CSV file, sir? Okay. So the format of the file you want to import, if it is a CSV, you use flat file, right? But if it is Excel, that's XLX, then you use import data. Please pay attention to this. If the file is CSV, use import file, right? Then if it is Excel, use import data, right? Now, if I should advise, right, based on experience, right, most time there's always issue with Excel. If the file is in Excel, and that issue is always this compatibility issue, right? It's always this compatibility issue. So if you are trying to import using, if it is set the file is in Excel, you can convert it to CSV. I believe you guys should know how to do that. You can convert, you can save it. So under that file, just look for CSV and save that CSV, then import in case you might want to be in a real life and you want to do that and it's giving you error. Now, the error that is giving you can be troubleshoot. You can troubleshoot the error, but in order not to, because most time I don't have that time, right? I can just convert it to CSV and just load the data straight, right? Now, so I will click on import flat file, right? Then another page is going to open, right? So you can see this. Then I will try to maximize it. You can see import flat file. This wizard will help you import the content of a file into a new table in your database, right? To import data, you must specify the input file containing the data, right? Then preview the automatically generated table schema and optionally modify the columns, right? Now, you can see this architecture here where you have flat file, then SQL. So now to begin, right, to begin importing your data, click next. So the next thing we're going to do is to what? Is to click next. When you click next, you're going to see another page, specify input file. Specify input file, right? So you will see this operation will create a table from your input file. Then location of the file to be imported. Then you will see this browser. You will see this browser. You will see this browser. So when you click on this browser, it will take you to where you save it. Someone is asking, I should repeat again. I'm going to repeat. I'm going to cancel this. Then, so I said you want to import data into liter_db. That's the database we are using, right? Right. So I'm going to right click on it, then look for task. Then when you click on the task, then this page is going to open, right? This page is going to open. Then look for flat file. And I've explained or giving you guys advice when you have an Excel file and you want to import the Excel file into database, right? And it's giving you error. You can troubleshoot, you can look for why the error. But most time the error is always compatibility error, right? Always Excel is very, very bad at that, right? So most time it's always like that. So if you know, you can just convert it to CSV before you import it. So then click on flat file. I think it's 8 o'clock, right? Let's go on our break, right? Let's go for a break. When it is 8:10, we come back and we're going to continue from where we stop, right? And if you have not gotten your file, use this opportunity to look for the file and download it and save it on your system so that when we come back from our break, then we'll just import the data straight, right? Thank you guys. Let's come back. It is time. Let's come back. It is time. Okay, I think it's time. Let's come back so that we can be able to cover what we want to cover today. Okay, so when you guys were on break, I quickly run through you guys' comments, right? And you guys, so the only thing I picked out, someone is asking, how can you pick a file that is on your desktop? So what we are doing is the file that's on your desktop. So when you save, either you save it on your desktop, you save it on your drive, you save it on your download file, right? You can still connect. It doesn't, so in as much as the file is on your system, on your system, on your laptop, just when you click on the browse, it will connect you to where it is, right? And load it to the database, right? You load it to the database, right? Okay, so now, so I'm going to right click again, then navigate to the task, then go to the import flat file, then this page open again, then I click next. So this is where we stop before we go on break, right? So I'm going to click on browser now. So I'm going to click on the browser, right? Now, once you click on browser, it will open my local machine. That's my system, right? My file explorer. So wherever it is, either in the desktop, in a document, in any drive on your system, or your download file, right? It's just now left for you to navigate there, right? It's you now point SQL Server database to where it is, right? So I'm gonna do that, right? And so mine is on download, right? So if it's on desktop, you can see desktop. I can click on desktop because someone is asking for desktop. If it is in download, if it's on documents, if it's on your local disk, on your drive, right? So you have the option to. So mine is on download. I'll click on download, and you can see it here, right? You can click here, right? I click on it, then I click open, right? I'll click open. Now you can see the file for path, right? From C drive to user to PC to download to international brewery, then underscore CSV, right? Then the table name is from here. You can change the table name. You can change the table name. So, for instance, I want to I want to close the bracket. That's a space in between. I want to close the space to rename it like that. Or it's either you close it or underscore. You put underscore there. So anyone. So I'm going to change it to, I'm going to close the space, right? Then the schema is DBO. Automatically, it's going to create the schema for you, right? So after that, I want to believe that we are on the same page, right? After that, then I'll click next. So once I click next, the next one is to preview your data. Data preview. So you're going to preview my data, right? Then after that, once you are able to do that, and everything seems to be okay, right? Everything seems to be okay, right? Then you click next. So once you click next, the next one is to modify columns. So let's say, for instance, I want to modify some column. Now, when you are importing file, this is what some people call it migration. You want to migrate your data from on-premises to to um to cloud, right? There are different ways to do it. You can build an ETL to do that, right? I think I can okay, right? There's something called SSIS pack SSIS. That's SQL Server Integration Services that you can use to automate the process, right? To automate the process that as the file is coming on daily basis, is loading it to database, right? It's loading it. That's you have that process you have automated. But this one we are doing is manual loading, right? Now, I here is giving you the opportunity to modify your column, right? Now, I will not do anything here. I won't do anything. I will click next. It's going to give me error, and it's going to give you error too, or you can just wait. So I'm going to click next. Then let's see if it's going to import. I'm not going to change anything. Then this page is summary, the summary of your server name, the database name, the table name, and the file to be imported. Man is saying I cannot open the file. I don't understand. If the file is open on your system, you have to close it before you import it. If that's the error message, right? Saying unreadable language. And make sure you click on flat file, import flat file, not import data. Import flat file, right? Someone say mine did not open. Someone say remove the file from Excel. Which one? Remove the file. The file is already on CSV. It doesn't have anything to do with Excel. It's already on CSV. If you open it down on your system, you will not be able to import it. It will give you that error. So you have to close it on your system. You can see that I closed my own. Right? You have to close it. Right? But how many of you are on the same page with me? I want to know. How many on you are operation fail? Okay, someone has clicked finish, Abi. Okay, who is the FC bar? Someone said it worked. Thank you. Okay, I don't know whether. So FC bar said it's up. Yeah, right. Like I said, if your own failed, don't worry. Don't worry. If your own failed, don't worry. But just I want to know how many of you guys are here. We are okay. Someone said operation fail. Right. Okay, don't worry. Right. Let me try my own. Yeah, operation failed. You can see my own too. Operation failed, right? That's the reason why I allow it to fail, right? And there's a reason why I said I want it to fail, right? Now, if your own fails, so you know what I'm going to do? There's a previous. Click on this previous to go back to this page to modify columns. So click that previous to go back, right? So that error has to do with the data type. Okay, sorry, let me show you guys the error, right? So if you want to see the error, look at the error. You can click on the error. So that's the error. Now read the error. The error is saying that the given value 450 of a type string from the data source cannot be converted to a type tiny for column 5 unit price. So what is it that we cannot use tiny data type for that? So we cannot use, so it means it's like you have to change the data type from tiny maybe to int, right? You have to change the data type. So that's what the error message. So peradventure you are loading data to the database, you might get some error like this. You know, so as a way that we did a lot of migration, on a daily basis we face this kind of issue, right? Right. So, but once you have this kind of issue, you don't need to be panic. Just read the error. What this error is saying is that the data source cannot be converted to type tiny for this. So it's the data type that you need to change. Then I'll click OK. I think I make myself explain it, right? Okay, right. I'll go back. Right. So I will change the tiny. So I think I actually complain on a unit price. So what I will just do once and for all, anywhere I see tiny, I'll just change this to normal integer. Normal integer, right? You know, tiny is still like a small value to compare to integer itself, right? So I'll change it. Right? Then I also have a small int. So all these small ints, there's a probability that it will still give me error too. I don't want it to give me error. So I'll also change it to int. Anywhere I see small int, I also change that to this one, right? I'll change it to integer. Then there's this one, small int. I'll also change it to integer. This one is here, right? You can change this to nvarchar. Let it be string, right? Let it be string, right? So let's try that. But hope it doesn't give us error. Let me just do this, right? Now, then let's continue, right? We're going to continue, right? Then click next. Then let's load. Right, successful. So I want to know how many of you guys able to get it now based on what I did, right? So that before we continue, let me know if operation complete from your hand. Oh yeah, guys, let's go together. Someone saying operation failed. Operation failed. We've already rectified that issue. Success. Wow, God. Okay. Dupe, thank you. Operation complete. Yeah, successful. Right. I did. Yeah, successful. Right. Operation complete. Successful. Sir. Okay. I did successful. Success. Okay. Awesome. Operation complete. Awesome. Right. Okay. Now, so what you're gonna do? Just close it. You can see close here. Close it. So once that is closed, right? Once that is closed, you go to your liter underscore, right? Then refresh, right click and refresh the database. Once you refreshed the database, then you look for the table. Now see the table here. See the table here. You can see the table, right? So I can run the table and I can say select all from international bureau data, right? So if I run this, right? So now try to check your own, right? And see you have 1,047 rows. So for those of you that are now saying that why are we creating table? So if you don't want to, you can just if you have your data in Excel, you can just import it into database using this method. Right. Okay. So once we are able to do that, now we want to run some analysis, right? Wants to run some analysis. So we want to run some analysis now using this data, right? We want to run some analysis using this data. Okay. So for those of you that you have not been able to do that, you might need to watch the video, right? And you might need to watch the video, right? And for you to be able to do that, right? Now, so let's say for instance, you have a project, right? And the project is on this international bureau, and you were asked to run some analysis on this, right? So the first thing to do is for you to get the total profit This data, it has how many years? Well, because I've checked the data on Excel. This data is between 2017 and 2019. That's 3 years. Between 2017 and 2019. That's 3 years, right? So the first thing I want to get total profits. To get total profits, right? Please, I might be a little bit fast. Please, I'm going to a little bit fast because I want to cover some things. And when it is like maybe 15 minutes to 9, I'm going to switch to Postgres. So between now and let's say in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to cover some analysis. Please pay attention, right? You might just have to stop what you are doing. This one I'm going to do. You don't need to do it from your hand, right? But when you have the query, you can practice it. I want you guys to pay attention. The first thing I want to do now is I want to get the total profit, right? The total profit. That's the first thing I want to write. All right, so I'm going to write a SQL query. Select, right, sum. That's the first thing they asked me to do. That's profit, right? Then as total profit. As total profit, right? Then from which table? From this international bureau. International bureau, right? I'll just copy the table from here. From this international bureau. So the first thing we want to do is to get the total profit, right? So I'm going to do that. So the total profit for the 3 years is 100 million, right? Sorry if I'm not mistaken. This 105. 105 million 587 420. So that's the total profit for the 3 years for the international bureau. Then the second one, to get so if you run the data cuts across some countries in the West Africa like Ghana, Togo, Senegal, Nigeria, Benin, right? Ghana, Togo, Senegal, Nigeria, Benin. 5 countries, right? Now, the second question is that get total profit for Senegal, right? I want to get total profit for Senegal. So that's the second analysis that my Oga said I should work on, right? So to get total profit for Senegal, right? So I'm going to copy this, right? Then I'll put it here. So I'll say some profits where country is equals to Senegal, right? So this is going to give me the total profit for Senegal, where profit is equals to right. So this is total profit for Senegal, right? Some people just like say 2017, 2019 is 2 years. That's not an argument. If you say 2 years, if I say 3 years, just pay attention. That's Olawumi Adesanya. Just pay attention. Either 2 years or 3 years, right? So this is the total profit for Senegal in the last 3 years, right? Another one here is that another question they asked me is that can you get the total profit for Nigeria in 2019, right? Total profit for Nigeria in 2019. Someone is saying total profit for Senegal. Yeah, if that's the way you want to do it. But I just want you guys to pay attention and you guys should follow because I need to cover this, right? So the another question is that get total profits for Nigeria, right? The total profit for Nigeria in 2019. How much did Nigeria make in 2019? That's the code, right? To get right total profit for Nigeria in 2019 or for 1919 anyhow, right? So the query is going to look like this, right? So I'm still going to use the same one, select some profit, right? Where country, right, is equals to Nigerian, where country is equals to Nigerian, and it said 2019, and year is equals to 2019, right? So if I run this, sorry, let me check the year. Okay, year as X, right? So now this is total profit for Nigeria in 2019 alone. This is like 4 million, right? 4,805,320. This is profit that Nigeria make in 2019, right? 2019. Then let's continue, right? Another one is that to get a total profit for each brand in Nigeria, right? If you check the data, there are different brands, right? Different. We have Trophy, we have Budweiser, we have Eagle, right? We have Eagle, Heroes, Castle Light, Better Malt, Grand Malt, right? So these are the different brands, right? So the question is that I want to get a total profit for each brand in Nigeria in 2017, right? I want to get the total profit. How much do we make on each brand in Nigerian alone? And the year is 2017, right? It's 2017. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to say like this, right? I'm going to copy this, I paste it here, then I'm going to say select brand, I think it's brands, right? Then comma, right? As total profit, right? As total profit. As total profit, right? Where country is equals to Nigeria, right? Where country is equals to Nigeria, and the year is equals to 2017, right? Now, 2017. The question is that get me total profit for each brand. Total profit for each brand in Nigeria alone and in year 2017, right? I will now say group by, because I need to group by brand, right? Group by brand, right? Then let's run this one first. Let's see output. So you can see Better Malt has 60, Budweiser has this, right? But let me order it. Order by, let's say order by total profit, and total profit is 2. So order by 2. So, sorry, in a descending order, right? So I want to see the brand that has highest profit in Nigeria in 2017, right? Budweiser. So in 2017, Budweiser has the highest profits. So it means um it means the guys, right? The guys drinks a lot of Budweiser in 2017, followed by Castle Light, followed by Eagle Lager, then followed by Better Malt, then Grand Malt, Heroes, and Trophy. So look at it. So this is your analysis. Are we following? Are we following? So honestly, mine is displaying error message, invalid object name, DBO. What are you trying to do that is giving you that error? Okay, sorry, following. Okay, thank you guys. So just pay attention, understand what I'm doing. By the time I send the query to you, you can run your own, then do some more analysis from your end, right? Okay, so another one that we need to do, right, is to get profit for Nigeria for each brand in the last 3 years, right? You know, this is just a total profit for Nigeria in 2017. What if, okay, I want to see the overall total profit, total profit for Nigeria in the last 3 years between 2017 and 2019, right? Between 2017 and 2019, right? So that's what we want to do. So I'm still going to use the same query. I'm going to just copy this query, right? Copy this query. So this time around, I'm going to remove here because I'm not specifying the year. I'm only specify the Nigeria, because that's what the question said. Only Nigeria, right? In the last 3 years. Someone is asking, I've not been getting your query. Okay, so I'm going to run this now. So you can now see that in the last in the whole 3 years or 2 years, as someone said, right? So at the end of the day, Castle Light now has the highest profit. Castle Light now has the highest profit. You know, in 2017, Budweiser has the highest profit, right? But in the overall, Castle Light has the highest profit. So that's going to be, it's giving us 66.9. Then Budweiser is giving us 6.5. You know, automatically, Better Malt and Grand Malt cannot be the first because people like we, you know, they drink. Now, Butter Malt and Mother Malt that we drink, but the guys that the Jayes, right? You know, so that's the reason why we have many of them, right? So I don't know if you have guys among you that you can drink Castle Light, Budweiser, Eagle Lager, right? So okay, right. So that's that. So what other question they ask us to work on, right? Is that we want to get a total profit for Hero brand in Nigeria, right? So let's say, for example, the question is said, just get me the total profit for Hero brands alone. Hero brands alone. Just get me a total profit for Hero brands alone, right? So this time around, I'm going to rewrite this, right? That's to get total profit for Hero brand alone. Hero brands, right? Now, so I'm going to say select I'm coming. Select this from International Brewery. Let's make this like this, right? Where country? So the question did not specify. Okay, so the question said in Nigeria, right? It said in Nigeria, right? So where country is equals to Nigeria, and it's asking us year and what? And year is equals to 2017, right? And the brand is equals to euro, right? Right. So let me comment this out. Then let's run it. Let's run it. Whether it's going to give us. Right. Correct. So total profit euro. Right. Total profit euro. Yeah. So you can see. So in 2017, euro alone generated 475,650. Very small. Right. That's what euro brands generated. Right. That's what euro brands generated. Right. Then, so so that's another one that we need to do. The question is, let's go back to the data set, right? Let's go back to the data set. So what they asked me to do is that he said you can look at Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Ghana, Togo, Senegal, Nigeria, Benin. He said categorize these 5 countries into their language. You know, we all know that Nigeria and Ghana, we are English speaking country. English speaking country, right? English speaking country, they call them someone said the file we are using is it not like international bureau? Okay, right? He said we should categorize the English speaking country. You know, they call them anglophone, right? Anglophone. Categorize them as anglophone. Then the French speaking country, he said we should categorize them as what? As francophone. Francophone, right? Thank you. Francophone, right? So I'm going to write a query now that's going to do that for us, right? So then he said we should categorize them. Then now calculate their profits. Then now calculate their profit, right? So let's say, okay, let me quickly do that. Let's select, right? Case. So I'm going to use case when to do that because we are doing categorization, right? We are doing categorization, right? So I'm going to use case when, right? So I'm going to say case when countries in, you know, so we are going to categorize 2 countries, that's Nigeria and Ghana, right? When country, so we are going to use in. You cannot say where country between, no, in, because 2 countries, we want to like 2 countries, so you are going to use in, right? Then brackets open and close, Nigeria, right? Ghana, right? So we call them, then we refer to them as what? Anglophone, right? Anglophone, right? So when that one is done, so you don't need to repeat so any other country, just refer to them as what? As francophone, right? So I'll now say else refer to them as francophone, right? Francophone, right? Then so automatically it's going to create a group. Then now say hand as country group, right? Country, or can we call it territory? Or let's call it country groups, right? Now country groups. So now say from okay, sorry, we still want to get the we want to get the sum of the profits for all this country, right? So we're going to say sum profits, right? as total profit, right? Total profit from which table? From International Bureau, right? International Bureau, right? Then the question is that it should give us the total profit for the years, right? So we now say where year in, right? We can choose to, let's do this one. We can also comment this one out, append, right? 19, right? Then let's group by what? By country, right? Okay, so let's try to run it, right? Let's try to run it again. Okay, yeah, fine. It works, right? So you can see that, you can see the country, francophone. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me see. Let's select country. Mhm. Let me do it like this. Aha. So you can see that Senegal is a francophone, is having this. Nigeria is a anglophone. Togo is francophone. Benin is a francophone, and Ghana is anglophone, right? Then let's order by, so that we can know the country that has highest profits, right? Order by three. Let's do by three. That's by total profit. Sorry, in descending order. In descending order. Okay, so Senegal has the highest profit, while Nigeria has the, followed by Nigerian, followed by Ghana, followed by Benin, then followed by um Togo, right? Okay, I think this sounds interesting, right? And right, so I don't know, you guys might likely get a cues around this, right? So I just show you, then so more question can come up, and you can try to work on it, right? So we have like 10 minutes to go. That 10 minutes, I'm going to quickly show you guys on something something on pgadmin, right? On pgadmin. So I'm going to save my query, right? Right, I'm going to save it. Yes. So yes, I've saved all the query now. So I'm switching to pgadmin. For those of you guys that use pgadmin, please pay attention, right? So pay attention. So this is my pgadmin. This is my pgadmin, right? So I'm going to click what's happened, right? Right. So this is my pgadmin. It's open already, right? Let me refresh. Right. Okay. Are we, for those of you that are using for those of you that are using pgadmin, that's Postgres, please pay attention. If you are using PageAdmin, please can you see my screen? If you are using Postgres, can you see my screen? Let me know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Okay. Okay, thank you. Right. So yeah, I want to create the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a database, right? I'm going to create a database, right? Or I can, let me see, right? Create a database, right? I'm going to call the database liter underscore db, right? Underscore db. Then I will save it, right? So I'm going to save it, right? So once I save it, now, so I'm going to click on that again. Then I'll open my query tools, right? So once I open my query tools, so this is going to open. This is going to open. Now I'm going to bring all the code that we used in Postgres. I'm going to bring it, the code here. Then I will run as many I can run before the close of this, right? Right. So you can see if you the first option here is open file, right? So I'm going to click on this open file, right? Then it will take me to where I saved all the codes in SQL Server, right? Then I will look for liter underscore. You can see the query. Then I pick it. Then I click open, right? So you can see that you can see all the code, right? You can see all the code. Now, but the only thing I'm going to do here, like I told you guys, is that I don't need to create, I've already created database. So I don't need to create database again. Is that I'm going to create a schema called DBO. That's the only thing that differentiates now. Schema, create schema DBO, right? So I'm going to do that. So I will run this alone first. Once this is run, you can see schema created successfully, right? I can refresh this to look for the schema I just created, right? And schema, right? So you can see the schema. You can see that DBO, I've created it. Now, for me to now create table, if I run this now, it's going to throw an error, because these are the things you guys might likely see. It's going to throw an error, right? It said date. Okay, the number one error that is returned now is date time, right? And like I told you, these are the simple differences you will see. So date time is not supported in Postgres. Rather, you change it to timestamp, right? Then let's run it again, right? Okay, table successfully created. Now you can see that this table now, if I check this table, you won't see this table under DBO. This table, you won't see it under DBO, under the schema DBO. So I have to go back and make sure I put my schema, so that I want the table to be under DBO schema. So I'll create the table again. Now, right, then if I refresh this, I should see the table, right? I should see the table. So you can see the table. You can see the columns that we just created now, right? Then let's run this to see the table also. Sorry, I need to put the DBO dots. So this is the table that we just created. So let's say, for instance, I want to insert into the table, right? Then I'll now highlight this, then execute, right? Nine rows, right? Then clicked. You can see it. You can see that it's very sweet using Postgres. And it's the same code, right? You can see the same code. Continue like that. The next thing to do is also to insert more. Okay, you can run the same thing. Let's say, for example, I want to drop it also, right? I can, let's say I want to drop the one under that one, right? You can just write. You can see dropped, right? Dropped. You can say, let's say, for example, I want to truncate the table, DBO, truncate the table, successful. If I run it again now, if I run this now, you see that the table has been truncated. So you can see that this is the same query I'm using now. The only thing I've changed now, okay, two things I've done is that I created a schema, then I changed the data type. I created a schema and I changed the date time to timestamp. That's just the two things I did, right? Then I can insert back again, right? Right. Then let's run it back. Right. So we have it back. So what's the next thing? The next thing is for us to create the second table, right? Now we call this one DBO. Now, if I run this, right, let's see, peradventure, right, it return error because in Postgres, it doesn't accept identity. I think in Postgres, it use auto increments. Auto increments. That's what you used, right? Right? That's what you used. So let me remember. You see auto increments or increments, ordinary increments. I can't remember this, right? Because it's been long, right? So I think I can't remember this. So I might not be able to run this, but at least identity, it has its own. Or is it auto underscore? Let me try it again. No, I can't remember this, right? I can't remember. I might likely leave this. Then let's continue. Let's insert more records into that employee, right? So like when you put your table into square in SQL Server, in Postgres, you have to remove that square bracket. You have to remove that square bracket for it to work, right? Right. Another one started. So you can see that we've inserted more menu record now. If you check now, we should have like 18. Right? 18 rows. Now you can see we have 18 rows. So this is how you can do this in Postgres. You can see that I can run all this, what we have done in the last 3 weeks. I can do this under 1 hour in Postgres. I will only just pay attention to where those changes need to be done, right? I only just pay attention, right? I only just pay attention. So if you are using Postgres, please don't be panic, right? Just is, and if you are using SQL Server, I think I've told some of you guys, you can also download Postgres and also explore the environment, right? Guess yourself, what if your next job might maybe what they are using is Postgres? They are not using SQL Server, right? So you have to now practice. Someone said, I use auto increment and it did not work. Okay, yes, it's been long. I can't remember. If I get it, I will send it to you guys. Because of the time, I can't remember. It's been long. Right. I think they have their own they use identity, but the Postgres use, I can't remember, right? I can't remember, right? Okay. Yeah, so it's already 9 p.m. Yeah, so thank you everyone. um it is nice having giving me the opportunity to train you guys, and I'm glad to be here, right? And so no Postgres will confuse me. Okay, no no Postgres will confuse me, right? So thank you everyone. Like you, I wish you success in your SQL journey. Please, our advice: don't stop practicing. No, you have to practice, 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 and practice until you are now until your name is now SQL, right? Your name is not SQL now, but please continue practice, right? Right. So thank you guys, and please don't hesitate to form that group. That group is very, very important. Create that network, connect to yourself, right? And then any group leader can reach out to me in case any challenges, right? Then we are still together, right? Okay. So thank you everyone. Yeah. Can I say good night? Right.